What are achievements to me? They're closely related to what we call goals and success. When you successfully accomplish a goal, well, it becomes an achievement in my mind. So I think that's why I see achievements as such a central piece of my existence, because it's basically what I'm able to do when I put my mind to it. When I decide, when I take decisions to go for certain adventures, well, these are like what remains. And it's highly personal. Sometimes you can see it through diplomas at high school or university, but in reality, the achievement is it's not physical. It's not. You can't really touch it. It's inside you. But it's still celebrated in many different ways physically, and I think that's great. It's a good way to celebrate our progress in life. But yeah, achievements are, like I said, it's like a north star to me. So I'm able to like always orient myself towards what I think is important for me at this current moment. So when I have one goal or many goals, I live a life where I'm a lot more fulfilled than when I've got nothing to go towards. I think it's very natural also for humans to get goals. And thinking about achievements this way made me realize that sometimes chasing achievements is not just exciting, it's also, it can be kind of heavy sometimes, right? It can get in conflict with other parts of our lives. I think that's where balance and priorities comes in, because it's it's really easy to get immersed and lost into achievements. But there's always something I call baseline, which I put a lot of attention to when I'm not distracted by anything. It's like a place where everything that's essential for me resides. So it would take care of my health. It would take care of becoming a little bit wiser by reading, by writing, also trying to better understand my view on the world, which this video also creates. Yeah, so there are many things in my life that I think are very 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 important. So the baseline, in a way, it's like it's something that keeps everything together. It's like the pillar I'm standing on and trying to build something even higher. So I really need to respect that pillar. And if balance is so important, well, it brings me back to older memories. When I succeeded, what exactly did it make me feel? I know that there's a lot of ways that an achievement can make you feel. Normally, when everything is healthy around your life, around your baseline and your achievements, you should feel kind of a surge of pride. But yeah, I don't know. It's like you're floating a little bit. You did what you had to do, and you're proud. And I think it's the natural course of things. We don't need to keep only one achievement at a time. We can have many ones at the same time. I think having two or three are probably the most and least goals I can have at the same time. What it does is I don't fall short after an achievement. So, for example, if I plan to do a marathon and then I succeeded, well, I still have other things to look forward to while I finish. While other people sometimes they are just they finish an objective and they're like, "Whoa, now what? What will I do now? I just finished it." So yeah, I think this can also happen, but by keeping a few achievements and attributing priorities, weights, and time for each can be very beneficial for anyone, really. And it's kind of crazy because when I think about all that, it makes me wonder, like, what am I actually experiencing with right now regarding achievements? What are like habits or goals do I have in the present? What do I do to keep testing myself and make sure that I push forward? That's quite a big question because for a long time in the past year or two, I did a lot of gaming, you know. This activity is really time consuming to me. It's like when you're a child and you play and you lose track of time. Well, the last 2 years felt a little bit like this. Even though I had my first child, even though there were changes at work, everything flew by so fast and nothing else was really in place for my baselines. That was pretty hard, but now I decided for 2026, you know, everyone has some resolutions. A few of us have already surrendered, but I've decided, okay, no, no, I'm not surrendering this time, and I decided to stop a few toxic behaviors I started in the past few years, and actually focus on building strong foundations, strong basics to build upon eventually, and be able to achieve more of my goals. Because, yes, of course, last year I became a dad, and it can be kind of a big adaptation. You know, it's a big transformation in the life of someone. From being a normal adult to becoming a dad, it's a lot more responsibilities. And it happens in ways that I couldn't really understand before really living it. This year, yes, I want to keep taking care of my family and such, but I want to rebuild my health, and I also want to build this YouTube channel, a community with you guys. If you want, we could have those kind of conversation. I'm just talking to myself honestly right now because I don't have that big of a crowd, but eventually I hope that we can exchange. We could talk a little bit. I could even invite people on the channel, maybe do some live streams and exchange a few words together. It would be amazing. But yeah, for now, that's just what it is for me, and I enjoy it. I just want to make it as easy and simple and you know, consistent as possible, as sustainable as possible. And the same applies for physical activity. I don't want to overburden myself with things that I don't actually enjoy doing in life. So yeah, that's a little bit where I'm at right now. So, anyways, uh, as I started experimenting with trying new things and such, I started noticing a few different patterns around achievement, around energy, and especially around habits. As you can imagine, it can be a little hard to start off without a baseline. So, what I do is just start my day and try to find boredom, because in the past I did exactly the opposite. I was just waking up and I was going into full dopamine, full distraction mode. It's not that it was not fun, it was super fun, it was exhilarating, yeah, really. But I knew that if I started, not a lot would be achieved throughout the day. But like, what I noticed when I stopped doing all those dopaminergic activities all the time is that when I went to bed, I was actually bored of the day, you know? I wanted to sleep. It was not like, oh, I'm so exhausted, I need to go to sleep. It was instead, oh yeah, I'm bored, I'm going to sleep, and it's dark, you know? As soon as it got dark, I was feeling a down in energy, the pull from my bed to just go to sleep. So usually I was trying to read a little bit before going to bed, and yeah, it's what I do pretty much every day. When I wake up, this is like this is the opposite. When I wake up, I've got a surge of energy. I'm so excited to get into my day. So that's a really big difference from before, because before I was feeling all drowsy. I didn't want to wake up. I wanted to sleep another hour, 2 hours, and such. So I think it's already a better, more healthy way to live my life, and I like it. I thought it was more around physical activity, but actually I think it's just that my brain is less used, less utilized by all these dopaminergic activities that are tailored to get and keep my attention. And now that I've noticed all that, well, now it makes me think about all I want to build in the future. What kind of habits do I want to build? Is there like a bigger journey or bigger objectives that I want to go towards? I think it's only going to be like physical activity, probably run higher distances with as time goes on. maybe enroll on a race in the at the end of the year, something like that. For YouTube, I want to post consistently. I want to grow an audience, be able to connect with you guys. So my next step in the journey is probably just to create some kind of personal documentation, try to find ways to make these activities very fun and keep track of them, keep track of my progress, and keep track of my why. Why do I want to achieve those things? Because these are like the engines that will keep me running. Or maybe my fuel, something like that. It's going to be helping me tremendously toward those two journeys. Eventually, when I reach different milestones or achievements, I will be able to build upon those and push it even further in other directions. And if I look at how I structure my days, it's really not that complicated. I mean, before, when I had habits that were not technically working for me that much, it was hard because I was always trying to structure, always trying to juggle everything in my schedule. And it was very tedious. I was always forgetting things. Now, my mind is free, there's nothing really distracting me from my work, my achievements, and my baseline. There's absolutely nothing. It's really refreshing to see that I can live through that. It's just a lot lighter. My mental load is a lot lighter. I don't feel negative things because I don't forget about those things that I need to do. So it's really refreshing. I'm reclaiming the few little good habits that I had before. Like when I do my breakfast, I'm actually using my scale and trying to weigh how much the ingredients weigh, so I'm able to better track the macros of the food. So this looks really unimportant, but when I add like a lot of dopamine heavy activities in my days, I was always jumping from one activity to the other, and I was like almost running to get there. I did not have the time to think about counting the macros of my food. Now it's just super clear. I'm there, I'm bored in the kitchen, and I see the scale, and it's magical. It's like everything makes sense. It's super logical and rational. My mind is clear pretty much all the time. So I guess it's really interesting for that. And there's one thing that I thought would come a lot more naturally, but now I see that I will have to make some kind of effort to have it. It's especially physical activity. I feel like I really need to prioritize it as like priority number one. Yeah, this one gives me a lot more headaches than I thought it would. I thought I would be bored and just I would want to jump on the bike and do my sports, but it's really not the case. Maybe I need to put a little bit more efforts and work towards like scheduling that time with myself or something like that. I don't know yet exactly what I will do, but there are a million things that I could try. So I'm not discouraged at all. Now, as I reflect on those challenges, it makes me think about other patterns that I see in myself. Since I've reclaimed my baseline, or most of it, and I've also started new habits, I'm still wondering like how it will affect my focus, my mood, and my energy. I remember when I was a lot more physically healthy, I had a lot more energy. And also, I had less pain. I have a little bit of back pain when I have too much weight. When I'm more healthy, normally I weigh less, and that pain is completely gone. Like that, right now, there's pain when I sleep. There's pain a little bit when I wake up or when I lift heavy charges. So now we have a toddler, and I take him up, and sometimes he's a little bit heavy with my actual weight, and it gives me some kind of pain, back pain and such. So this will probably vanish too as I go on. Yeah, there's so many things that are hopeful for me to look forward. Schedules have a very important place in my heart because it's like especially the weekday schedule. I've always designed my workday in a way that's meaningful to me and that works for my objectives. So for achievements in particular, it's really important because you're able to see, like, if you schedule your whole week and most of your weekdays look like the same, you're going to be able to create habits pretty effectively. So that's how I do it. So first, what I do is I I try to pinpoint where I go to sleep and where I wake up. These are like the delimiters of my sleep. And then from when I wake up to work, this is a moment I try to allocate with a few different things that are helpful for the family, that helps the baseline. And then there's work, then there's lunch, then there's work again, and then there's still a lot of time before going to bed, after work to the evening to nighttime. And what I like to do, especially when I'm like distraction less, we could say, I try to keep at least 1 or 2 hours before going to bed without any screens. I think it's one of the biggest factor that makes me wake up refreshed and actually helps me fall asleep in the first place. There are like a million, I'm exaggerating, but maybe a dozen little habits like this I do every single day and that are implanted in my weekday schedule, and it's really really easy to use. And it gives me clarity, and it gives me also a place where I can try to go towards my goal every single day. So that's really strong, I think. So that's how I see achievements. Not just reaching goals, but also balancing with life, with baseline and energy. It's messy and personal, but I think everyone can get a little something from it. And anyway, all of that is part of the journey. If you like this video, I think you're going to like this video where I talk about my own life philosophy and especially how to build your own. And I think it's a video that was very well appreciated. It's an older video, but yeah, everyone seems to like it a lot. So I really encourage you to go and check it out. It's a lot shorter than this one, so yeah, it's a short watch. And anyway, I will try to create content like this pretty much every week and maybe do another one or maybe shorts. I don't know yet, but yeah, I'll try to keep it fun, keep it engaging. And if you liked it, please tell me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.